Hey everybody, it's me, Amelia Lady B. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to give you 5 tips to combat depression and anxiety while you're trying to manage this surgical menopause. Before I begin, I want to say that all of my tips could actually apply to anyone. As you know, my channel is really dedicated to women who are dealing with surgical menopause, and I talk a lot about women's health. So if this video could possibly, if the tips that I provide give you any type of encouragement during your time of need, then definitely start using those tips. Tip number 1 is not to ignore it. You know what you feel like on a day-to-day basis. You know what a good day feels like, and you know what a not so good day feels like. So don't ignore the feeling of depressed mood or when you're feeling a little anxious. It's better to acknowledge the feeling and try to combat that feeling, or even talk it out with someone. Which brings me to tip number 2, get professional help. I had to invest in a therapist because it got to a point where I was crying every single day. I was experiencing a depressed mood very often where I didn't want to get out the bed. I didn't really want to eat, and I felt anxiety, and I can't even really articulate where the anxiety came from, but it just came out of nowhere, almost like a feeling of doom, like something bad was about to happen. And so I decided to invest in a therapist, and I'm glad that I did, because she allowed me to express myself and express my feelings, and also provided me with tips on how to acknowledge the feelings, recognize my triggers, and able to walk through that process through journaling and even follow-up phone calls with her. So I'm an advocate for mental health, so I really do suggest anyone, you don't even have to be going through something like surgical menopause or any mental health issues. Mental health is literally a part of self-care. It's taking care of yourself with everything that's going on, especially now with the global pandemic and just so much tension in the world. We need as many ears as we possibly can to hear us, and ways to help us maneuver through our day. Number 3 is to tell your somebody. I don't know who your somebody is. I don't know if it's a parent, if it's an aunt, if it is a best friend or a coworker, but whoever your somebody is, talk to them about what you're experiencing. It's always good to have somebody that has your back and kind of knows you a little bit, and they know just how to help you out when you get into these depressed moods or have some type of anxiety. I know I have one of my best friends. She has been so amazing during this process of me understanding what's happening with surgical menopause, as far as like my anxiety or just the different symptoms, insomnia, all of that stuff. So she's been so helpful in this process prior to me getting a therapist, and even now she has been such a help to me, because she would just sit and listen to me. And even she didn't understand exactly what was going on. I had to explain to her what I had went through as far as with endometriosis. We didn't know each other back then. So I met her at work, which is so crazy. And then our relationship just developed from there. And she's been a great listening ear, and vice versa. We have a great bond. And so she would give me my wake-up calls in the morning to wake up on time to get to work, and she would bring me my coffee if I didn't have enough time to stop and get coffee. It was just easy for me to maneuver the day, you know, even at being at work, you know, when I would get frustrated on the job or something like that, and she'd be like, let's go take a break, let's go to lunch or something like that. You always need that somebody. If you don't have that somebody at work, it's okay. As long as you have that somebody that's on speed dial along with your therapist, that would be an ideal situation. So identify who your somebody is and see how they can help you. And I'm pretty sure they will be willing to be that person to help you through this process. And if by any chance you don't have that somebody, like I said, look to investing in a therapist, and I'll be there as much as I possibly can for you. You can follow me on my social media, but we'll get to that later. Number 4 is to set boundaries. I believe I did quite a few videos. I did quite a few posts on my Instagram about setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is very important. I think for anybody, boundaries are very important. But definitely when we're going through a change like this in our lives, especially for those women who may not have had children prior to their hysterectomies, or women who desired to expand their families and don't have the opportunity to do so naturally, it can be a little bit difficult. It could be difficult to see pregnant women or to be around pregnant women or to hear conversations about babies. It can be very difficult to go to baby showers and baby reveals and, you know, have all that giddy talk about family and building, you know, families having babies and things like that. It can be very, very, very emotional, and it can bring on anxiety quickly. I know for me, when I'm going to say like the first, honestly, let's be honest. Let me not stop. I've gotten better over time, of course, with therapy, because my therapist has been working with me and, you know, just affirming me in that it's okay to have certain boundaries. It's okay to say, no, I can't go to a baby shower. But I'm much better now when it comes to having conversations. I do know there are times, and I don't even know, I can't even identify. I'm still working on that, trying to identify when when I get triggered or when I get in an emotional state when it comes to babies, children, and, you know, seeing pregnant women and things like that. Sometimes I'm fine and sometimes I'm not fine, but it's okay. It's okay to feel not so good. I mean, it happens. We all, regardless of even having a hysterectomy, we have days where we just don't feel not so good. And so it's knowing that it's okay, but it's also, like I said, set the boundaries. So it's having conversations with friends and with family. And if they don't understand it, and if they end up not being around you anymore or not being your friends anymore, know that it's okay. It's not you. It's not you at all. It's okay. You have to set whatever boundaries in your life to allow you to function as normal as possible and to make you feel good. There will be a time you'll be ecstatic to hear someone say, I'm pregnant. You'll be ecstatic to go to a baby shower or a gender reveal or to see sonograms and to see baby pictures. One day it will happen, but if today is not that day, then it's okay. If tomorrow is not that day, it's okay. And you have to be okay with that. So set your boundaries on your conversations, and it could be just internal. So, you know, for yourself, when you hear a certain conversation getting sparked, then you just remove yourself from the situation. It's not for you to get upset. You don't have to storm out crying. You don't have to, you know, it's okay to separate yourself. I will share also as well on my job. On my job, there was a baby shower. Now it's virtual, of course. It was a virtual baby shower, and our HR department sent out an email and stated, hey, we're having a baby shower for so-and-so to celebrate her bundle of joy. And They said if you would like to participate, it's going to be at this time. And we also are going to have a virtual e-card sent to her. So I just politely responded and said I will not be attending the I will not be attending the virtual baby shower. However, I did send a note of, love to my coworker. I recently had a cousin who had a baby as well. I didn't attend any of her virtual events. But of course, when she had the baby, checked on her, made sure everything went well. And I even was okay when she sent me a picture of him. And at first, it kind of like my heart fluttered a little bit. And I said, and then I was just like, oh my gosh, he's so adorable. And it was a different feeling than I felt, let's say, 3 years ago. Totally different feeling than I felt. And I said, man, what progress I had in such to me, seems like a short time span, but it was a lot of progress. But that, I'm telling you, therapy and just knowing your triggers and journaling and setting boundaries, it makes a big difference in how you respond to certain situations. And number 5, get into something that you love to do or that makes you happy and where you can have fun. Listen, when you're depressed and you are full of anxiety and just feeling of doom, part of you is like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to lay here. I want to close my door, shut the lights off, close the curtains, and just sit and stew in whatever feeling that you're feeling. And that is ultimately not the best place to be in. That's when all types of negative thoughts start coming into your mind. People get into really dark places when you isolate yourself. A lot of times people say it's good to have time to yourself, but when you go into full-on isolation, it is not the place to be. So I encourage you, whenever you feel that mood coming on, I encourage you to think of things that you may like to do. And maybe have a list of things around you, or just keep in your mind, listen, when that feeling comes, I'm going to get my journal. I'm going to get a coloring book and start coloring. I'm going to have a sketch pad and start drawing. Go for a walk, exercise, and not just exercise, do something different. Go to a dance class. And again, pandemic, so do something online. Sign up for a Zumba online, or find a YouTube video that has a dance instructor and dance. Ride a bike. I just got into roller skating again. I haven't roller skated since I was like a little girl. And so roller skating is like becoming another new thing. Like, it's not new at all, but it's coming back. Okay. And so I love roller skating. I love, remembering what I used to do and different moves and stuff like that, and learning new moves as well. It makes me feel young again and just rejuvenated. I also love boxing. I think I've talked about boxing before. I love boxing. Boxing releases a lot of negative energy, a lot of negative feelings. And I'm telling you, it releases all the tension up in here. And of course, when you're moving and that adrenaline is moving and you're punching the bag or something, kickboxing, all of that, it makes you feel good. You release all of that. You release all that toxicity out of your body. So, and listen, exercising and boxing is like the only place where it's okay to sweat. So when you're having a hot flash, nobody knows that you're having a hot flash because you're just sweating, okay? Because everybody else is sweating. So it makes you feel even better. Also, too, recently, I adopted my fur baby. Her name is Aziza. She's sleeping right now, so I can't wake her up, but I'll put a picture somewhere here. So I adopted her, and when I tell you, man, I didn't even realize when people say emotional support animals. Listen, I rescued her, but she rescued me. And I heard people say that a lot of times, but honestly, I don't know what it is. It's like their unconditional love, the way she loves to cuddle with me, and she's just so sweet. Like I can't even explain it. But if you don't like animals or if you're allergic, find something. There is something that you can do that makes you laugh, makes you smile, even if it's as simple as watching a movie. But do something out of the norm of what you do when you feel depressed or when you feel anxious. I will say recently, I started a new job in January, and it's been very frustrating for me because I'm learning something new. I've done it before, but it's brand new to me in the sense of what this job is asking me to do. And so I'm very hard on myself, as a lot of people tend to be harder on yourself than anybody else can be. And so because I feel like I know I can do this, I put a lot of pressure on myself to do it correctly. But we all know that there's something that we're not going to do perfectly. We can't do everything perfect, and so when it comes to this job, I got very frustrated a couple weeks ago, actually recently, and I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to put the covers over my head and just do nothing. I mean, I cried. My roommate was like, "Sis, you got to wake up, honey. Get up, get out the bed." I'm like, "Nah, I don't want to move." And so here comes Izzy, and she's sniffing on me and kind of like cuddling me and stuff. And then I'm like, you know what? Let me go take you for a walk. And just that alone, fresh air and movement, and seeing this little puppy who is dependent upon her mommy to take care of her. And I'm telling you, it just makes me feel good. Again, it's still not to say that I don't feel what I feel, but it's having things in place that when I do get into that funk, I have things in place to know, and people in place that know what I look like when I'm in that mood, so we have those things set in place. And I know I said 5, but like one of my all-time things to do is to pray, even when I don't want to pray. A lot of times I'm like, I'll be angry with God, or I'll say, "Oh my gosh, how could you let me go through all of this?" and blah, 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 blah. And I just realized, what my voice is for and everything that I've been through and how God has just maneuvered things into my life and how he has just changed what could have been bad into a good situation. He is the reason why I even have a social media, even why I even have a YouTube channel, and how I'm even able to express myself vocally. I'm an introvert. I don't do this. Typically introverts, we don't do this. We don't do this conversation. We don't message people on Instagram. We're fearful of all of that, right? Because we don't want any interaction. But it's only by the grace of God that I have gotten to where I am today. So take these 5 tips with a little one with the extra. Take these 5 tips and utilize them in any form, any area of your life. It's important for us to take care of us. This is part of self-care. Self-care is not just getting your hair done, your nails done, taking a day off of work, or whatever the case may be. But it's about you. It's about you setting things in place that when a mood comes along, or when you don't feel well, you have things in place that will bring your mood up. Okay? So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this can help you. If you did, go ahead and like, share, and comment some of the things that you do that help you to get out of depressed mood or anxiety. Because I mean, I have 5 tips, but my 5 tips could be totally different than your 5 or an extra one. Just let me know what you do as well. And so it helps us. We're a community. We have to help each other. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed. Check me out on Instagram at Millennial and Menopause. Don't forget to visit my website, millennialandmenopause.com, where you'll be able to check out my blog and also download some resources. Until next time, ladies, be blessed, bold, and beautiful. Have a great one. Bye.